Right, welcome back, everybody. Anybody not depressed?
Yes, I thought exactly that when I was watching it. I thought, how depressing. But
I don't think I'll be around at the end, though.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not worried about what happens in 4 billion years, but still, his very first minute or two of the video, talking about we're by the way, we're in the middle of a mass extinction, the sixth mass extinction. So yeah, I did a bit of let me actually share that. Go back to sharing. Let's share now.
The thing that took my note was he was talking about how much CO2 is put into the atmosphere by volcanoes. And he said at the end of it, vastly more than we're likely to be able to produce. So what's all the stink about CO2?
Well, what's all the stink? Right, so you're talking about global warming. Just here's a summary.
Yes.
Here's the AI summary of the transcript. Okay, we're in the sixth mass extinction, driven entirely by human activity over the last 300 years. We have altered the atmosphere, nitrogen cycle, and geology, leaving a permanent mark in the rock record. Plastics, isotopes, extinct species. Critical tipping points are approaching. West Antarctic ice sheet collapse, Amazon dieback, and AMOC ocean current shutdown. Two futures exist: adaptation, stabilize the warming at 1.5 to 2.5 degrees, which could be painful but survivable, or we do very little there seems to be very little political will to do much. But business as usual, you'll have 3 to 4 degrees warming, cascading collapses, centuries long civilizational background. So I Googled, Pete did say that he verified the relative scientific thorough grounding of the facts in this video. I thought I'd just Google and I asked, how does global warming affect South Africa? And then there were 3 points that, let me just get that up. So warming and sea level rise, inertia, West Antarctica ice collapse, delaying the next ice age. I just asked it to sort of verify the truth in those, and it did. And it told me a bit more about the mechanics of the Milankovitch cycles and so on. And then just a bit more about how the global warming will affect South Africa. But it's there. So yes, I think there were pretty high levels of carbon dioxide in the past, but I think there were also very high levels of oxygen, and I think that was, I'm not sure, but I suspect that's how those huge dinosaurs could exist and so on. Like instead of 20% oxygen, there was like 30% oxygen or something, very high levels in the past. Those huge forests that they had covering Earth and so on. I stand under correction, but yeah. The Earth was a very different place at various stages of its cycle.
The thing is that as the planet warms, people think, well, it's going to get hot. But the reality is that it leads to greater extremes in the climates. So you can have extremely cold periods because of the movement of thermal energy around the planet. I recall, I suppose it was the late 50s or early 60s when there was the big freeze in the UK. A lot of people died from that. And even back then, they were worried about the smog from the Industrial Revolution that basically started there. And so what's going to happen is that we're going to just get more and more energy injected into our atmospheric system. And so we're likely to get more extreme weather events, both hot and cold, and high winds.
But to me, what was quite instructive was COVID, when all the jet travel and ship travel and so on came ground to more or less a halt. And just that, for that while, the big difference in atmosphere and so on. So I think, if somebody can hurry up and develop a much more miraculously energy intense battery than we do have today, that's what we need. I think we need to get rid of fossil fuel consumption, and we need to change a few other things, of course, not deforesting the Amazon and all things like that.
There is that, but it's not just the generation of the electricity that affects the climate. It's the use of the electricity, because the energy's got to go somewhere, and it always turns into heat ultimately. And so that's going to affect us. The more people there are, the more equipment we have that runs on some other energy source, the more the energy is going to escape into the atmosphere.
Yeah, well, you can have a net zero cycle, I think, where you consume it and use it and move it through processes, but don't have it building up all the time. And of course, the global warming, the carbon dioxide greenhouse effect. We just have to get rid of that. We have
Entropy
no choice.
goes one direction, and that means that we are going to release more energy into our environment, whatever we do.
No, but we can capture it again.
It's never going to be a zero sum.
Well,
because of entropy.
Yeah.
Oh,
no process is 100% efficient.
Yeah, but just look at the Milankovitch cycles. I mean, the eccentricity of Earth's orbit, the obliquity, the tilt, angle of Earth's axial tilt oscillates. I mean, the eccentricity is a 100,000-year cycle. The tilt is a 41,000-year cycle, and the precession is a 23,000-year cycle. And when those coincide, for the northern hemisphere to be cooler than normal, then you get glacier formation, and that becomes a sort of a self-reinforcing cycle, and you get a glacial age again. But this global warming caused by the greenhouse effect will negate all that and prevent that from happening. Then you get this massive buildup of heat, which totally destroys all our environment. So this is the problem. I mean, yeah, sure, entropy is also part of physics, but we can affect it one way or the other. And the one big way we can affect it is by not consuming fossil fuels. So you seem to be a bit of a climate denialist, or not? Have I got it wrong, Chris?
No, I'm not a denialist. All I'm saying is that whatever we do, right, the release of energy is going to increase. We have increasingly more efficient systems that we develop, but entropy is something that we can't work against. And as long as there are people, then we're going to be doing something with the energy, and some of that energy will be lost from our control and enter the environment.
I don't know, you say we can't work against entropy. That might be sort of technically true, but we can direct it. We can direct the energy into, growing forests instead of heating the atmosphere.
Potentially.
So we can have a positive effect. So yeah, I'm an optimist in a sense, really.
Well, the reason why I have a negative perspective on this is because of my observation of how humanity behaves, right?
Yeah, that is a big question.
You can have little oases of people who are doing the right thing, but they pale into insignificance compared to the masses who don't care and don't understand.
Yeah. First thing we got to do is get rid of Trump, but then some other idiot that's even worse than him will pop up.
Yeah, I think he needs to be put in a biodigester. And then we can use the methane that he generates to good purpose instead of just having to endure it.
I hope the CIA isn't listening to this, particularly his CIA. Anyway, I'm not bothered. All right. So we've got, let's see who we've got in attendance.
Eric, I just wanted to make one comment. I think
Go ahead, Pierre.
We're talking of two different time scales. The global warming is the current era, let's call it. And I think what I did find interesting is the way that the video spelt out the long term, the hundreds of millions of years in the future, and the sequence, unavoidable sequence in which life is going to die off, starting off with carbon dioxide, and then oxygen, and then heat, and then all the hydrogen escapes. That unavoidable sequence was quite interesting. I enjoyed that. It's actually a very interesting video.
I agree. I think most of us have heard of the broad sort of details of what is described in this video, but those details are not really something I've heard of or focused on before. So I also found it a lot of the details throughout the video. The first time I watched it, I was quite surprised at how much I'd learnt, and I got so locked in on the first few minutes of the video, and worrying about global warming, that I couldn't focus that much on the rest. And the second time now, going through it, I did pick up a bit more again, and so on. And I think I need to watch it a couple more times. And I've also got the transcript, which I've sent to Pete, and the summary. And maybe I'll send this South Africa effect one as well, if people are interested in that, to Pete for distribution to people if they want it.
Yeah, I did circulate the transcript just before this meeting, so
Okay.
It's in everybody's inbox.
If humanity can continue the pace of technological development and it is applied in the right ways, then there's more hope for the next 10 generations of our descendants.
Yeah, and then even further into the future, when the sun starts expanding, I just have a vision of a whole lot of little Elon Musk descendants occupying Enceladus or something. Or maybe even before then, as the sun's surface approaches Earth, I can just picture Elon Musk's great-grandchild building a massive rocket which is pointed directly at the Earth from on the equator somewhere, pushing the Earth faster around its orbit so that it can expand its orbit a bit further away from the sun. So yeah, but
I think we would have wiped ourselves out. I think we would have wiped ourselves out long before that happens.
Yeah, that's the most likely thing, unfortunately.
Peter, are we also going to get a link to this video?
Yes, we'll do.
Thank you.
And we'll also have the discussion link as well.
Thank you.
I'll put the recording of this discussion on YouTube as well. Okay. Who we got now? Peter Harvey, what do you think?
Just one thing I noticed. I'm not sure if I misheard, but I thought I heard him say that Mars lost its atmosphere something like 4 billion years ago. Or did he say 4 million years?
No, I think he said 4 billion. I think that's right.
I thought he said so. In which case, if 4 billion years ago, how are they honestly talking seriously about investigating if life was ever on Mars?
Yeah.
There was, but it's
4 billion
dried
years
out.
ago, there was liquid water on Mars. So must have been life. Well, I don't know.
I think
Pretty sure
4 million would be closer to the truth.
I don't know. Let's just check on the facts here. I seem to remember a number of 2 billion years. I don't know why. Let's check on a NASA website or something what they say. That most accurate.
Well, we have found evidence of early life in sedimentary rock and in coal and things like that we've dug up. So, if Mars did have some kind of life forms, there's still a possibility that there will be remnants. Might be desiccated, but they can still be there.
Yeah.
Even after 4 billion years?
Conceivably. I mean, Mars hasn't had as much of a bombardment from the sun as what Earth has by virtue of its distance.
I'm not entirely convinced about Elon Musk's drive to populate Mars. I don't think it'll be a nice place to live. I think if somebody could build a very big air conditioner and cool Venus down, that might be a better place to go to.
No, actually, the answer with Venus is to have balloon type things allow you to be in the stratosphere, because there is a layer in the Venusian clouds where the temperature and pressure and the gravity are all remarkably similar to what we experience on Earth. It's quite habitable.
Yeah, wasn't there speculation that there might actually be a fair bit of sort of microbial life or whatever floating around at that level?
Yes, I have read that too. That's why we need a proper sample return mission for there.
Yeah.
Difficult though, huh?
So, yeah, interesting times. And I don't know, some of these global warming facts, I think they need to be publicized to a much greater extent. It's a bit frightening if you calmly mention the statement that we're in a 6th global extinction level event.
If you look around us, you will see that there are stratas of humanity that we live amongst who think that leaving a tap running is okay because, they didn't pay for the water. And there's a lot of that. So the likelihood of getting our society to be particularly environmentally conscious on a broad scale is a very daunting task.
Well, it's one of the problems is education of the masses.
Absolutely.
Eventually. It's one of the problems required that need to be solved to sort this out. But okay, we have to believe that it can be done. We can't just give up.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I have a pizza waiting to warm up.
Yep, likewise.
Thanks very much.
Just leave it outside. In about 1 million years, it'll cook.
But then I will also cook then. I might be a bit thinner by then.
Thank you very much. It was very interesting. Thank you.
I thought, thank you. Whoever, I don't know if this was Peter or Peter Harvey's choice of video, but I think this was an excellent
Peter
one.
Harvey. Yeah.
A very good one there. Very good choice. Good shake up there.
I must admit, even though it was an AI generated voice, I found it quite listenable.
Yeah, I think that was one which was okay.
Yeah.
Even at 1.5 speed.
Yeah, no, normal speed was far too slow when I listened.
Yes, I agree. That was dead right.
Yeah.
Thanks very much, everybody, for attending, and thanks, Derek, for organizing.
Good evening. Goodbye.
All right. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thanks for attending.
Cheerio.
Cheers now.
All right.